Welcome to Sensor Noise, a podcast about photography. I'm Andrew, joined, as always, by Arthur.
Hello.
Hello. How's So we had pretty wild thunderstorms last night. The hail was like horrendous for like 5 minutes, and then it was done.
We
wild.
don't really get thunderstorms in general. But we have been getting
We don't really get those.
No, we don't.
Yeah.
I have one of those Tempest weather stations in the backyard, and it has never recorded lightning since moving here, like ever.
My lightning detector stopped beeping at a certain point last night because it would have just been incessant, you know? Yeah.
Mm-hmm. We've been having sort of thunderstorm-like rain, so it'll, rain heavily for 20 minutes and then stop. We've been having that, which is uncharacteristic for here. But no actual thunder or lightning or anything.
Yeah, well, happy for you, I guess.
Yeah, it was 85 degrees last week, so that's not ideal.
Yeah.
Also, climate change. It's good and good for everybody, obviously.
Mm-hmm. I've heard this. Yeah, we're getting weird weather in this week, in that it's like going to be very cold tomorrow, but then it heats up again the rest of the week, but then it's also supposed to rain basically all this week. So very, very much an April sort of weather situation, I guess, for April showers, things of that nature. Anyway, there was a lot of news.
Yeah, quite a bit.
The past 2 weeks.
Once again, we recorded like the day before a bunch of releases happened, so
yeah,
it's how it is.
First up, we have Ricoh, who says a GR3 successor will come, quote, someday, unquote.
Okay.
All right.
He says the quote here is from Ricoh. I don't know if the new GR will come before or after I die, but it will come someday.
Oh, good Lord.
So.
Jeez.
Yeah. Good luck.
Yeah, we make one camera per generation. Good luck to you. Yeah.
Yeah. Jeez, man.
Yeah. This is, So it's been 6 years since they released the GR3.
Yep.
Which is kind of a long time in camera terms, but also not really that long of time in Ricoh terms. Because
no, it's not long at all.
I think that Ricoh cameras are obviously not a priority for them. They're their bread and butter is the copy machines and whatnot.
I don't even know if it's copy machines. I think it's like medical and scientific imaging.
Yeah, right. So making anyway.
There's only been, in the entire lifetime of the GR series, only been what, four?
Yeah, I guess there was a film one originally, and then there was the 1, 2, and 3. Yeah.
Well, there was a GR Digital 4, but then they moved to APS-C, dropped the digital thing, and then 2, 3, and 3X. Yeah, there have not been that many of these ever.
Yeah.
So I guess it's not that surprising.
Mm-hmm.
And basically nothing has changed from.
Yeah, very, very little.
Since the 2?
Yeah.
They've been basically the same resolution. I guess they were 16 back then. Now, since the 3 in 2018, it's been the same. So, well, maybe someday they'll realize that this compact point and shoot is a market, and they could go after that.
Yeah, they could capitalize on it while the excitement's, high for it, but I guess.
Or they could not even manufacture enough GR3s to satisfy demand.
Yeah, they could just let it pass them by.
Okay, guys, whatever. Meanwhile, somebody is capitalizing on the point and shoot revolution here, and that's this Camp Snap camera, which is a digital camera that looks like a disposable film camera.
Sort of, yeah.
Yeah.
This is so it's quote unquote screen free, so you can't actually see the photos after you take them.
Should note it does have a screen. It just only shows you how many pictures you've taken.
Yeah, it's just a like LED display. This is, I guess this is like basically, take a cheap smartphone camera and put it in a, point and shoot sized body. It even has like the smartphone style flash, which is just like a single little LED.
Right.
Yeah, I
this
don't
is
know.
Perplexing.
The sample images from this are, I would say, not good. Yeah.
No.
It says your dynamic range isn't great. And I would tend to agree. And this being like a point and shoot, you don't really get to adjust that either. So, or being a disposable alike, you don't really get to adjust exposure or anything. So
these cost $65 US. Worth noting.
Well, for now, on their website,
now,
it says due to a newly imposed tariff, we will soon need to raise prices.
I see what they're trying to do here, and I see who they're going after. It is kids. It's for children.
Yeah.
This is a camera that you give your kid before they go to camp, because camps increasingly are not allowing any kind of phones or any digital stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But because I think the screen-free particular is that's a camp targeted thing.
Yeah.
This is for giving to your kid.
Mm-hmm.
And
this
for
seems
that,
like a camera that has
fine.
been. This seems like a camera that has been farmed out to lots of influencer types on Instagram.
Absolutely.
And to me, that's not necessary. That's not really a good sign, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah. Also on their website here, they have a little teaser, CS8 vintage video coming soon. It looks like, like a Super 8 camera kind of thing, but I imagine it's not actually using Super 8. Also, it's pretty obviously just a render. So curious. Is it just gonna take really crappy like 480p video?
Probably.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I can't find the exact camera that the Camp Snap is on AliExpress, but there's hundreds that are very similar to it.
Yeah.
That cost approximately $10. So
yeah, I have to assume this is more or less a drop shipped thing.
I mean, I think they're customizing the outer housing, but I'm pretty sure that it's
But that's not. You can get in touch with those AliExpress, the factories that make it, and say, "Hey, can you do this for me?" And they'll usually do that. Has an 8 megapixel f1.8 4.8 millimeter focal length. Yeah.
Sure, guys.
It can hold. It can take the Camp Snap camera can hold 500 photos on a single charge and 2,000 photos at once. Once you've reached 2,000 photos, simply export your images to your chosen device and start snapping again. Interesting. So, because it has an SD card, but it sounds like they artificially limit it to 2,000. Yeah,
they're trying to make it more like the disposable camera experience,
which is a bit silly to me because 2,000 is
that's quite a lot.
About 100 times.
I could also see this being the kind of thing you might use at a wedding. I've seen a lot of people lately do this. They'll have like disposable cameras available.
No, you got to get an Instax for that. It's more fun and you get the results immediately.
Yeah.
That's my recommendation if you're thinking of like
fair.
Yeah, this is I don't know.
I
would not.
I'm not. I mean, I don't plan on it.
Yeah.
As we predicted, though, immediately somebody went and made a grip for the Sigma BF. Helium Design Lab has one that's basically like some milled aluminum block.
Yeah, it's also it's also machined out of some billet to actually make the thing easy to hold.
As predicted, somebody immediately made one of these.
How much is this on top of the cost of the camera?
This is a prototype. They haven't.
Oh, okay,
it's
great.
not for sale.
Mm-hmm.
But they suggest you comment on their YouTube video and let them know if you would like to buy one of these.
Yeah, well, I'm sure all 6, people who have gotten a BF will be.
Yeah.
Canon had an event.
Did they now? I almost completely missed this. I didn't see much about this Canon event at all.
They announced some things. The PowerShot V1 was fully announced. That's basically their version of the Sony ZV-1. It is, in fact, the exact same price as the Sony ZV-1 Mark II. It also comes with a little dead cat that you can put on top of the camera for the microphone and all that stuff. Basically the exact same kind of thing as the Sony ZV-1.
How does it compare to like the G7X?
That is a good question.
I know they're competing directly with the Sony, but I know the G7X is also very popular in this market, and that's also their camera.
Yeah, see, but this
right?
is much more designed for video.
That's fair.
I would say. It can do 4K 60, which is better than the ZV-1, which can't do 4K 60. I think you can do 4K 30.
Right. I'm reading that it also has an ND filter built in.
Yes.
That's pretty useful for video, I guess.
It can, so it records 4K 60 with a crop, and then it can record 4K 30 and everything else at full blast.
Right.
It has a equivalent 16 to 50 millimeter lens.
It's not APS-C, huh?
No, it is
one of those type 1.4 things.
It is a yes, it's a type 1.4, which is a bit shorter and wider since it's a 3-to-2 chip. Yeah. But it's 22 megapixels instead of the 20 of the Sony.
Hey, look, you know what else it has? So Canon can learn. It has a fan.
Oh, yeah.
And
it says
actual
it can
cooling.
Record, yeah, it says it can record continuously 4K 60 for 2 hours in a typical
So I think this
environment.
outperforms the full-size Canon mirrorless in that.
Yeah. Well, this even has most of the R6 Mark II's autofocus system. So yeah.
Huh.
Except weirdly, it's vehicle detection functionality.
Well, okay,
like,
I guess
listen, we can't. Yeah.
With this lens, you're not going to be doing a lot of vehicle shots.
Mm-hmm.
With a 25 millimeter, you're not taking pictures of videos with this thing, or pictures of cars. That's not really what you're doing.
Right. Now, but if a point and shoot style vlog camera is not your style, there is also the new Canon EOS R50V, which is basically what if we took the EOS R50 and made it into a cinema type camera? Kind of thing. I don't know.
So it doesn't. Okay, so the main thing that the Sony one like this has, I forget what that one's called, but it has like the 1/4-inch mounting holes all over
the FX. Yeah, the FX30. Yeah,
this doesn't.
This doesn't, but it is squared off.
Okay,
it is much more squared off and less ergonomic than the regular R50. But
why?
Yeah, it's not. There is one on the side of the grip. That's the only one besides the tripod mount.
So why would you get this I guess you get it because of the price, right?
Yeah.
Because it's quite a bit cheaper.
The camera's control layout is designed for both portrait and landscape orientations, including a front recording button. Oh, I'm sorry.
Okay,
yeah.
Sure.
A front recording button and a dedicated live stream button.
Oh, fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
This is your same 24 megapixel APS-C image sensor. It can record 4K 60 at a 1.4 crop. And if you want to use the full thing, it's capped at 30p. Yeah, they've placed heavy emphasis on live streaming. The EOS R50V supports UVC streaming, so you can just plug this in directly. I guess this is meant to be maybe for like a Twitch streamer kind of thing. But I don't know.
Yeah, that sounds right. What was the wasn't there a line of cameras, compact cameras that Canon discontinued?
Well, which one?
The M series, right?
Yeah. Uh-huh.
So is that maybe this feels more like an M6 kind of thing.
Kind of, yeah.
But it's cheaper than an M6.
Yeah.
So maybe this is targeted at like M6 users that were using it for like webcam live streaming thing. That would make some sense. Because it's not really for professional video, because it still does a crop at 4K 60, just like the other one.
Right. Yeah.
So that doesn't really help anything.
And it also loses some of the still photography features. It doesn't have an EVS. It doesn't have built-in flash like the regular R50. It only has a single SD card slot.
It can do wireless live streaming.
Yeah. This one is actually, it's not that much different in price from the PowerShot V1.
No,
Go
it's
figure.
not.
So, and you can put different lenses on this one.
Yeah, this one uses the regular RF mount.
Yeah.
So it'll be cropped, right? Because it is a APS-C.
It is APS-C, but that also means you can use third-party lenses on it because it's APS-C. So, yeah. However, Canon also has some new lenses it would like to sell you, including the RF 20mm f1.4, their widest f1.4 lens ever.
Okay. That's pretty wide, yeah, sure.
Full frames, yeah. 20 is an interesting size to make a very, open aperture lens like this, but yeah.
Yeah. Is that something that people are clamoring for?
Maybe. It's a good question.
Maybe video? Yeah. Maybe it's for video, I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
Because they already have a 35 1.4 and a 50 1.4. So adding a 20 is a curious choice.
Yeah. This has a BR lens element, which is supposed to better handle blue spectrum light.
All right.
Yeah.
Interesting.
So there's that. That's going to be $1,700, and then they also have a new. And this is meant to go with the EOS R50V, the wide-angle power zoom RFS 14 to 30 millimeter. So this is your little power zoom, video lens basically. Delivers a 22 to 48 millimeter equivalent focal length range, which Canon says is ideal for cinematic video, live streaming, and vlogging. So.
I mean, it's really the power zoom that's the thing here.
Yeah, right.
That would be. I wonder if that's accessible from like if you hook the camera, the R50V, up to your Mac, can you control the power zoom if you were to use it as a?
Yeah, that's a good question. I would hope, right? That seems like that would be part of the point. But yeah,
because that would be a killer, webcam basically.
Yeah. I don't know. You're going to have to spend like $800, $900 on the kit to find out, I guess.
I think I'm good with my Insta360 for now.
Unless there's some other sort of camera that catches your eye. But
yeah.
Speaking of cameras that caught my eye, some news from Pentax here.
Oh, no. Good or
bad? Not great. One is that the main designer behind the Pentax 17, Takeo Suzuki, who goes by TKO, is leaving Ricoh and Pentax to go do something else.
All right.
Basically sounds like he's going to chill out for a while. So
fair.
And as a result, Pentax has said that it might be a while before they make another film camera. So reminder that Pentax is under Ricoh. So this is basically Ricoh saying twice, like, yeah, we're not really in a hurry to do anything.
We're not interested in doing anything.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, that's disappointing.
Yes. So, hasn't been very long since the release of the Pentax 17. We have to approach users to hear what is their opinion, or in other words, what do we do to make it more attractive to our filming interests? So it might take time before we make another film camera. So, yeah. I don't know. It seems to me like they have all the pieces to just make a full frame point and shoot style thing. But what do I know?
Come on, guys.
I hope that this is like, I hope that they have blueprints for, more film cameras already on the chalkboard.
They have
they're not,
to, right?
You'd hope, but I don't know. That's the thing. Ricoh is weird.
But they're a Japanese company, so they may just be incredibly slow, like Nintendo. Right?
Yeah.
That may just be how they are.
Yeah, that's true.
That is how they are, but like this could be just like, hey, maybe the spokesperson here is trying to say in so many words, chill out, Americans. Like we work on a different time scale.
Yeah.
Seems plausible.
Meanwhile, Tamron has come out and said that they will make more prime lenses if that's what you all want.
I mean, sure, I'll take it.
Yeah, and so to which I would say, like, yeah, go ahead.
Yeah,
that seems to be, yeah.
What's the crime? What's the harm? Just do it.
I like my Tamron Zoom just fine, but seems like they should get into the high quality prime business because there's a lot of a lot of interest in that these days.
I don't even know if they have to be super high quality. They could also go.
Well, that's true.
They could go towards both ends, right? They could have like Sigma, where they have like the art series, and then the plebeian lenses,
right? The science series,
yeah. You could do something science series,
art and science.
You could do something like that, where you have like the basic ones that are the entry level ones that are affordable but good, and then you have the f1.2s or whatever. They could do something like that because they do have to compete with 7 Artisans, Ciroi, TZ Artisan, Viltrox, etc.
Yeah, that's true. In digitalization news,
Lomography has a thing that's supposed to make film scanning a little easier.
A film scanning kit. This is basically like a little, it is a combination of a copy stand and a backlight and a little advanced mechanism kind of thing all together.
Which I think is kind of clever.
Yeah.
Especially because they've got a smartphone, like for most people, you got a smartphone thing that lets you mount your iPhone into it in a way that it's level, with the film surface.
Yeah.
And it has the 35 millimeter frame has an advancing knob. So you just take the picture, crank the thing one frame, take the picture, crank the thing one frame. It's very easy to do it. This seems like a decent idea, especially with more people getting into film who don't necessarily have access to a scanner.
Right.
Scanners are, good luck.
But who want to scan stuff themselves.
Yeah.
I don't know that this is going to make scanning that much easier. It's still a giant pain in the butt, but...
Yeah, but if you're the kind of person who does like one roll every 6 months, this is
in that
more
case,
than
it's
enough,
probably not terrible. So,
and it's it's like $75. So
right, this whole kit is quite inexpensive compared to sort of some of the bigger kits from like Negative Supply or other such places, which cost a lot more. This is probably sufficient for most people. And they even have masks for scanning 35, 120, and importantly 110. Good luck to you with that, but
I imagine. The other thing is people will make 3D printable masks as well that you can throw on there for whatever shape you want.
Yep.
I need to get something that can film scan. I was hoping that Nikon would make the adapter that they used to have for macro lenses.
Yeah.
But they don't seem to be making that anymore.
No, they don't. No. A lot of camera companies would like to pretend that film doesn't exist anymore. So, yeah.
Yeah, they would.
Some company called Panasonic has announced a new camera. This is the S1R2. This is a 44.3 megapixel backside illuminated CMOS sensor camera. This is basically, it looks like this is their big boy camera for big boys.
Yeah, the S1R typically is that, right?
Yeah. Can shoot at 40 frames per second. It has lots of stabilized lenses and 8K video, open gate recording, ProRes RAW, so on and so forth. So, yeah. This is
So my question remains with these Panasonic cameras. who is buying these?
I don't know.
Because they have a decent lens lineup, honestly. It has good features, but the autofocus isn't as good as Sony. And like, ooh, I don't know. Who are these for?
I think I've only seen at PhotoWalks and stuff. I've only seen one person using a Lumix ever, and it was one of the little Lumixes,
right?
Not one of these big ones.
Yeah. I have never seen one. Ever.
I don't know. Yeah, it's a very good question.
I know for video, a lot of people like these.
Yeah. Right, but which, this looks to be a pretty formidable, video camera. It's got definitely the hybrid features, but I don't know who's using it to shoot stills. But
is it still? I think it is still the biggest full frame mirrorless camera that exists. It's massive.
Yeah,
it's huge and it's heavy. They made it lighter supposedly, but it's still heavy.
Well, and if it's not heavy enough, you can get a grip for it as well. So, yeah.
One thing that's nice for video, though, it'll do Apple ProRes RAW internally. You don't need an external recorder for that. So that's pretty good.
Yep.
It'll do it to a CF Express card. So that's another thing where it's like awesome for video people.
This can be yours for $32.99,
which does make it the cheapest flagship, I think.
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah. So
maybe that's their value proposition.
It could be that it's just cheaper.
I mean, it looks. I don't know. Cameras are especially at this level. I feel like the differences between them are kind of nitpicky, right? They're largely fungible. They have sensors that use the same kind of technology, and in fact, some of them are using the exact same sensors across,
quite a lot of them, right?
But they're all, like backside illuminated CMOS sensors. They all have big, nice like displays and OLED EVFs and so on, and they can all shoot all the different formats. So, I guess it just comes down to like, do you own lenses for this, or like, can you deal with the user experience and the menus and whatever?
You know what it really is? I bet it's the L mount.
Yeah.
Right. Cause it's an L mount camera. So all the Leica lenses, all the Panasonic, a whole bunch of cinema. Blackmagic uses L mount as well for their cinema cameras and their live streaming cameras and everything.
That is probably the main thing that is keeping Panasonic's camera line afloat, I would say, because I think if they did have their own unique lens lineup, I don't know that they would be that big of a player.
It would.
Yeah.
No.
Right.
And the L mount has additional benefits too. Of part of being part of the L mount alliance is that you have to treat all L mount lenses as if they are first party.
Mm-hmm.
So all of them get all the features on all cameras. So even, you take your expensive Leica lenses and put them on your Lumix, they will work as if they are in a Leica camera, which is great. So I guess if you have a whole bunch of L mount video glass, you can, take it from your cinema camera over to this thing. That kind of makes some sense.
Yep.
Still, I like seeing downward price pressure. That's what I like seeing, and they are providing that here.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, apparently, DJI also is part of the L Mount Alliance.
Oh, okay,
so
interesting.
They're big, beefy camera drones.
They just use the mount. They don't make any lenses. You imagine a DJI lens? We'll probably have to talk about that sometime within the next year. DJI will have a lens or something.
I bet they do. Yeah,
they're rapidly expanding. I mean, they make the portable power stations now. So
Yeah, I guess they're big cameras use
DJI
L-mount.
Osmo microwave oven,
like the ZenMuse cameras that they have that go on the big drones. Those are L mount.
Mm-hmm.
They do make a lens, DJI DL 35mm lens.
Interesting.
They make one, I think.
DJI.
Oh no, okay. They have quite a few.
Huh.
They've got power zooms. They've got 75mm, and they're quite expensive. that's way more than you should be paying for a lens for DJI.
Well, yeah.
Jeez.
That's the it's the DJI tax, I guess.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Here's my advice to you: do not buy a $1,200 lens from DJI.
Yeah,
buy something else instead.
Yeah. Fascinating.
Interesting. And lastly, this camera caught my eye because
Fujifilm had another X Summit. They heard our plea. They heard our plea for an updated X Pro 4, and they said, "Shut up. We're not giving you that. But what we will give you is this camera,
a GFX 100 RF, which is a GFX 100 S2 sensor in an X100 body, basically.
Yeah, it's
a medium format point and shoot fixed lens digital camera."
102 megapixel resolution fixed lens camera.
Yes.
It's certainly something. It's rangefinder styled, but it doesn't actually have like the X Pro style actual rangefinder thing.
Or the X100 has an actual rangefinder too. It doesn't have that.
Yeah. Which seems like a miss, but whatever.
Does it really matter? I don't think it matters that much.
It has an aspect ratio dial.
Which is okay. I actually think that's clever. It has two things. The aspect ratio dial is nice, so you can have the 4:3 right of the native sensor, but you can also do 16:9 if you want. But it also has digital zoom, and by that I just mean crop.
Yes,
which you can do because it's a 100 megapixel sensor.
Yeah,
you can just crop it to get
and to demonstrate this, they've evoked their history of classic film medium format, large format cameras. And they've got a picture here of all of those cameras that they used to make, plus the GFX 100 RF. It just makes me a little bit sad, but
that's
the whole point. So you start at like the custom setting, it lets you set a aspect ratio of your own, and then you've got 4:3, of course.
Yeah.
That's like your typical. You've got 3:2 as well, another typical one.
Yeah.
16:9 for your cinematography. 65:24.
That's sure.
Which is
everyone's favorite aspect ratio that they know and love. 65.
That is the aspect ratio of the Fujifilm TX1 and TX2, which you might know better as the Hasselblad X-Pans.
Oh. Okay.
So that is your panoramic.
So it's doing a weird crop on the sensor. All right.
It is indeed, but it gives you the X-Pan experience without having to buy an X-Pan, which is probably more expensive than this.
Yeah, almost certainly more expensive than this.
Then you have 17:6, which is, as the number suggests, meant to evoke the Fuji G617 and GX617, which were their medium format panoramic cameras, which are, by the way, I cannot emphasize this enough, that you should look up the GX617. It is a ridiculous camera. It is so wide that it has like a cage on it.
I'm looking. Let's see here. Oh my goodness.
You get, do you want to know how many photos you get on a 120 roll?
Like
from
3?
A 616? 4.
2, 3, 4?
4.
Right.
You get 4 frames. Yeah.
I like the look of it though. It's very industrial, like very purpose.
This camera is so wide that you basically have to cart it around in like a Pelican case. It is huge. Yeah. I'd like to use one someday. 3:4, which of course is, just flipped around, but that's your like 6:45 format. 1:1 for, your Instagrams and whatnot. 7:6, that's your 6:7. And then 4:5, which is, your as if it was a large format camera. Of course it's not, but And what they've done here is they've insulted me because they have an image that's in 4x5, but then they have an image of Fuji Professional Film Pro Via 100F 4x5, which of course is not a thing you can get hold of anymore. So
right.
It's really like they're just taunting us. They're like, hey, remember the cool stuff we used to make but don't anymore?
Yeah,
you get kind of close to it by giving us several $1,000s. It's like, great, thanks.
It has an OLED EVF, which is nice.
Yeah, it does look nice.
It looks nice.
You know.
And supposedly there's some other reviews that I've seen where they say that the lens is very, very good.
Yes, I've heard. Yeah, I saw that the lens is quite sharp.
Yeah. And it has I didn't realize this. It has a 4-stop ND filter built in as well.
Oh, very nice. This being a Fuji X, it also has all of the film simulation modes that you know and love. I guess, what's interesting to me about this is the idea of a medium format camera that's not unwieldy and ridiculous.
Yeah, that is what interests me as well.
Yeah.
I'm not going to lie. I've considered it.
Mm-hmm.
I've considered getting medium format. But the GFX series, like, they're huge.
They are gigantic.
And the lenses are huge. And it's like, am I really going to carry that around anywhere? No.
The answer is probably not. But you could carry this around because it is probably like equivalently large to, carrying around a full frame mirrorless with I
think it's a little
smallish lens.
Maybe as heavy, but I think it's a little smaller.
Yeah.
It doesn't, in the pictures at least, I'll have to hold one, but it doesn't appear to be that large. It looks like a X100 that's a little taller.
Yeah, right.
Because the screen is 4x3 on this, which is a different shape, right?
Yeah.
But I'm thinking now that, like, replacing my X100V with this could be interesting.
Can you sell your X100V for $5,000? Because that's how much this costs.
I can probably sell it for almost $2,000.
Well, there you go.
They're still fetching a premium.
I googled GFX 100 RF, and there is a single 3-star review on Google for it. Don't know what that's about, but
too expensive. I'm guessing that's what it says. But I'm looking. Here's a picture of an X100 versus a 100 RF, and it is pretty much the same width but taller, like I thought.
This is a German shopper from Galaxis.at. Yeah. The disadvantage of the concept: high cost, no image stabilization, and a lens with a low light intensity despite a fixed focal length. So, whatever.
Thanks, man.
Yeah.
This is describing the specs of the camera, 3 stars.
Right. As I mentioned, this is cheaper than an X-Pan, which go for at least $5,000 these days. So,
and it's cheaper than the other. The only other medium format camera that's a reasonable size to carry around are the Hasselblads.
Yeah,
and those are way more expensive.
Yeah.
I mean, you can carry around an XCD, but an XCD is kind of big, so you end up with a 907X system,
right?
And those are pretty small, but you're at $10,000 now to get one of those.
Yeah,
just for the body, right? $81.99 for the body now, and then you have
with
to
those.
buy
I think you're pretty much stuck with. I mean, you certainly don't get all the aspect ratios, but the default for that is a 1x1, right? So
yeah, but let's say you want to have the same experience, right? So you get this 28mm lens from there. Their 28mm XCD is $1,679, so you're at $10,000.
Yeah,
and that also is an f4. So isn't that like the same as this one?
Pretty close, yeah. I mean, what other
millimeter? Yes, this one's a 35 f4, and the Hasselblad is a 28 f4. So
what other?
It's twice the price to get a Hasselblad system that's similar in portability.
Yeah. What other digital medium formats are even out there? Phase One doesn't really make consumer cameras anymore.
It's just Hasselblad and Fuji, isn't it?
Does Leica have a medium format?
I think so.
Is that the SL series? I don't know.
Yeah, if you look at the best medium format cameras, 2 are Fujifilm and 2 are Hasselblad.
Yeah, well, there you go.
They're the only ones,
and that's the sum total of them.
Yeah, that's it, right?
Because Phase 1 doesn't make them anymore. Pentax doesn't make them anymore.
Nope.
Yeah,
there's no more. It's just those. Yeah, according to B&H, you got the X2D, the 907X, the GFX 100S2, 100RF, GFX 102, and you can special order an H6D 100C DSLR. That's it.
Cool.
That's
great.
the entire market. So
yeah,
yeah, the Fuji looks pretty good if that's the market.
Yeah, not bad.
We'll see. I may get one of these eventually.
Mm.
It would be fun, I think. I have this dream of going up to Sonoma and taking my own version of the Bliss wallpaper from Windows XP.
Oh, yeah.
That's where it was taken, on medium format.
Mm.
It's medium format film. He took it up there. It's not that far from here.
Well, there you go. Nice. Next is Gadget Corner. This is photography related, but not a camera. The Notice Obscura.
So this is a watch.
It's a mechanical watch made in partnership with Beers and Cameras. The first mechanical watch to integrate an exposure gauge for film photographers who don't have a light meter, which is interesting. An interesting concept.
Yeah. Confusing.
Yeah.
A little bit. So I'm not really... How do you use it?
I am trying to figure that out by looking at the watch. It looks like the surround of the watch is like your... I don't know. It's not obvious to me.
I'm confused how you use this.
And also
exposure gauge complication. Turn the bezel indicator clockwise to match your lens aperture with the corresponding value on the chapter ring. Then find the corresponding ISO marker.
This isn't actually a light meter. It's just that it has like markings.
It's a lookup table.
Yeah, it's basically based on the Sunny 16 rule, and then you slide things around for what aperture and ISO and whatnot. Okay. That's not that impressive. I wanted it to have a built-in light meter.
That would have been cool, yeah. But it's automatic, I think, so it's not
yeah.
It doesn't have a battery, right? It's be kind of difficult to have that in there. Yeah, 41 second power reserve automatic. Plus or minus 10 seconds per day. It's not very good. But it does look kind of cool.
Yeah.
I have to say it looks kind of cool. I like these kind of watches that have like a little slide rule type thing in it. I've noticed I'm doing pilot school, and there are quite a lot of watches that have like aeronautical calculators in them. So they'll have a couple of rings on the outside that you can turn to do various airplane calculations, which is kind of neat. I like having that little functionality. I mean, of course, you could probably get an Apple Watch app that just does that, right?
Well, right.
But that's not as cool.
It's interesting. I like the blue and white secondhand. That's kind of neat.
I like that, and then I like the color that they've chosen for the illumination. It's this bright blue Luminova material. It's pretty nice looking. Well, follow up from last week. I talked about tripods and how mine sucks. And I have not come to a conclusion on what exactly to do. So I found a couple that have good reviews and say that they're compatible and hold 40 pounds or whatever, which seems like it should be enough. But then I look at the specs on the one that I have, and supposedly it also can hold 40 pounds.
Okay.
So now I'm like, well, what's the deal here?
Yeah.
All of these tripods that I found, and I've linked we'll have them linked in the description. They're fine. There's nothing wrong with them. And I linked the one that I have, this Manfrotto B3 Advance, which is a 20-pound weight limit. I think my camera with the lens is maybe 7 to 10 pounds. well within the weight limit of this.
Yeah.
And I did some research, looked around, and I think what I actually need is not a new tripod, but a new tripod head.
Oh, yeah, that,
So if you've seen these gimbal heads, but I think this is what I need. So I linked one in there. And it's a manual gimbal, basically, that you put your lens in, and it offsets where the center of gravity of the camera ends up being, and moves it into a place where it's easier to tilt the whole thing.
Oh, yeah. Interesting.
So I think this is actually the problem that I have, is that the ball, the ball joint, not the legs, the ball joint can't hold the weight. But
that would make sense, yeah. It's that, yeah, because I mean, I'm looking at the one you have, and that ball joint is not beefy.
No, it's really not.
Yeah,
it's not at all. But I think something like this gimbal head could do it.
Yeah,
there's a bunch of these out here. This is one that I saw recommended because it's just pretty basic and it has an Arca plate on it. So I got to look at these now. I think this is the way to go.
Well, and that also seems like it would be much easier to return if it didn't work out, kind of thing. So,
yeah, probably. Yeah. And if you Google on B&H, there's a bunch of these. It's like a big video one that can take 44 pounds, but it's heavier. And it's all just for suspending big video cameras, which is kind of what I'm trying to do. Kind of.
Have you considered getting their DSLR and camcorder shoulder support?
No, I have not.
Oh,
there's also this one. This is hilarious. Here, I'm gonna link you this one as well. Manfrotto heavy duty telephoto lens support with quick release adapter and plate. Look at the second image for this product. They're suggesting that you suspend your camera in this mount.
Yeah.
As opposed to putting it on the mount, which I guess maybe works.
Yeah,
kind of
that's interesting.
Strange way to use it, but I suppose that would work.
That is an old image.
That is a really old image.
I think that's a film camera on that.
Yeah, no, that definitely is. That is not a digital camera.
They've been making this thing for a while.
And it looks like it.
Yeah.
But hey, if it works. I mean, it has good ratings, so maybe this is what I should go with, something like that. Yeah. It's got 199 reviews, which is a lot for B&H.
Yeah.
Crude but effective, says the top review. Fair enough. Doesn't need to look nice. It just needs to work.
Yep.
So yeah, I will report back.
Geared tilt heads, which is fascinating as well.
Those are for video, I'd imagine.
Yeah.
Because then you can crank them into position.
Right. Yeah, little micro adjustments without worrying about
Yeah. There's some carbon fiber ones. Because now the other problem is if you add one of these onto your tripod, now these weigh as much as the tripod does.
Right.
So you kind of have to be a little careful about that.
Edelkrone flex tilt head.
Yeah,
interesting.
I think this is what I need to do. If you, listener, have thoughts, let me know if you have experience with this, because I don't know anything about these.
Yeah.
I don't know which ones are good, and I certainly don't want to drop my camera off of one of them. You're doing an event.
I am doing an event. I thank you to the Aftershoot Create Together Fund, which I applied to. And honestly, didn't expect anything out of, but they have seen fit to give me some money so that we can rent that. It's called Leisure Club. It's like a private members club kind of thing, but it's furnished in a very eclectic style, I guess, sort of like a kind of Mad Men vibes, but also like 80s Dad's Basement vibes at the same time. Very interesting. Departure from your typical photo studio with seamless backgrounds and lots of Pinteresty sort of decor.
Sure.
So yeah, I'm having a photo session, photo shoot there on April 27th, 2 to 5 p.m. The link, if you would like to attend, is in the description of the podcast in the notes. you can RSVP. It's free thanks to the generous support. There's also free beer. So
beer.
what more do you need? I guess.
Well, maybe if there's free beer, maybe I will pay the United fees. I may or may not be there. I haven't decided yet. I need to see if I can get United to offer me a flight that costs less than $2,000.
Jeez,
fly to Ohio. I don't know what is going on with them.
I feel like it'd be cheaper for you to fly to LAX and then take the LAX direct flight.
It sure feels like it. I have no idea. I looked on my phone, and the cheapest flight price was $2,200 for economy. I have no idea what's going on with that.
That's
so
outrageous.
I need to look. United is they're the only people that offer a direct from here to Columbus. So I gotta see if I can figure out why it's doing that to me.
Yep. But should be fun. Kind of a mix of a photo shoot and just, hanging out with other photographers kind of thing.
Yeah, it sounds fun.
Yeah. I'm excited. I've wanted to since going to this place, Leisure Club, for like my company's Christmas party 2 Christmases ago. I thought, man, I'd really like to do something, do some photography here. So I've been thinking about this for a while.
Yeah. This is a good event. This should be fun.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, come on out. Come on out.
Looking forward to it.
Yeah, that is it for today. Your bi-weekly, is it bi-weekly or every 2 weeks?
It's bi-weekly, I think.
Bi-weekly? Okay.
Right?
Yes. Bi-weekly dose of camera news in extreme detail. We're getting the official ruling here. Is it bi-weekly or is it?
Yes, it is bi-weekly.
Okay. All right.
According to the dictionary, bi-weekly means every 2 weeks.
Okay. So, happy World Backup Day. Remember to back up your photos and whatnot.
That will have been a few days ago, but there's probably still hard drive deals out there.
Yep.
This is the time of the year
external, things of that nature. Yeah.
This is the only time of the year when there are good deals on hard drives. So if you need them, now is the time. There really aren't good deals. Basically,
they're very expensive at every other time. Yeah. So.
They're still expensive now, but if there's sales, this is when to get the sales. You are not going to have sales in, even for like Black Friday, there aren't usually very many deals, if any.
Mm-hmm.
So this is the
it's
time.
Weird.
And we both also recommend serverpartdeals.com.
For
refurbished drives. They are great for that.
Refurbished drives. You might think refurbished hard drive, that doesn't sound like that would be any good, but you would be wrong. They're actually just fine.
They're fine.
Yeah.
Because it's not they have refurbished by server part deals, but I get the recertified ones.
Well, and it's also not refurbished like consumer grade drives.
No,
either. These are
they're
serious
ones.
business. Yeah.
They're ones that fail within the warranty period and get sent back, or fail factory certification and then get reworked and fixed and sent back out again. So in some ways, they've had more testing done on them than regular drives have.
They've actually had more focus on them. Yeah, so.
But I mean, I've been using recertified drives for ages, and they have the same failure rate as any other drives. So no risk there.
Yeah.
We will see you in 2 weeks.
Stay tuned.